Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Mardek. And you might be asking yourself, excuse me, Lids, why are we back on Mork's battleship? I thought we just defeated Mork. And you are correct. However, there's something else that I wanted to show you guys. There's an alternative strategy for fighting him that I thought might be interesting for us to check out here. Now, I'm actually going to switch our party members. We did, of course, make life a little bit difficult for ourselves, using Vern when he had the very weak sword that we were kind of sort of leveling up at the time. We're using to learn an offensive reaction. Not the best time to learn those things against the final boss, so instead, let's throw on Zack, see what he's all about here in this final fight, and let's deliberately put on the Bone Slicer, because we of course know that we'll be fighting primarily an undead enemy, so that effectiveness against undead should be meaningful. And also, let's throw on, say, how about something to give him a little more speed, which I think that we had Vern with the Belt of Movement. Let's swipe that. And the Earth Resistance we also saw is quite relevant too. So let's keep the green beads on as well, perhaps. So let's jump into this fight. And there's one other thing that I wanted to make sure that we do. That being that we throw an item that people have been talking about a little bit onto Zack. It is something that has its primary purpose, yes, that being bringing people back when they fall in battle. The Phoenix Down, bringing people back with half HP. Phoenix Pinion, bringing them down with full HP. However, there is an alternative purpose as well. And I think we will find that that'll be something we can put to use here in the most dramatic way. Now, however, let's also continue to swipe items from Vern. We're definitely not going to use them. Let's basically swipe all of his potions. And also his better potion. His single better potion. No, he has another stack there. I saw that. You can't sneak that by me. And I think that's mostly what's going to be relevant here. Maybe the motion potions, in case, yeah, Zack didn't have any. And similarly, we have Holy Waters. Make sure that Zack has a few of those. And maybe also Liquid Light. Sure. Okay. Now let's jump in. And I think we will find that we can use a strategy that people were talking about using previously, but we were not given a shot. Now, I'm going to skip through our dialogue here because we, of course, did have this conversation in the last episode. So pardon me as we go through this, and mostly what I want to focus on here is the combat. Because what we can do now is with Zack, we have guaranteed that he goes first. One thing we can do is we can use the Phoenix Down and the Phoenix Pinion to actually deal damage to Mork. Now, once upon a time, I believe that would have one-shot him, because basically it would typically heal up 100% of someone's HP, and so against undead, where instead of healing it deals damage, that would mean that it deals 100% damage, and one-shot him. So it would be a very convenient way to turn what would normally be a very difficult battle into suddenly an extremely easy one. Miss that reaction. Unfortunately, on this occasion, I think that it has been changed. We've seen that a lot of fights have been made easier. I'm thinking of the World Saviors, the Zombie Dragon. Both of those are significantly more straightforward in the Steam version than they are, or at least were, in the Flash version of the game. At least it seems. However, this time around, I believe that that was a difference in the Steam port. Maybe it got changed partway through, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that once upon a time in the past, that was something that you could do to make sure that you took Mork out immediately. It might work still on other undead enemies, and maybe there was some changes to Mork that made it so that it doesn't apply to him to quite as much effect. Maybe it's that he doesn't have complete weakness to light. It's not a 200% weakness, it's only 50. Not entirely sure. It does, however, mean that we could also do things like heal everyone. Dromos actually are not undead, so that won't be effective against them. So if we were to use the heal offensively, then we ought to do this. Might be... It did deal a bit of damage, but it is not as much as Mardek would deal with his normal attack. So that's good to know. Alright, let's use Crescendo Slash here, because I think this is, of course, likely to be a very long fight, so that should become very effective over time. And we also learned that attacking everyone with the Lightning Bolt should be the way to go there. Allow us to take out some Droma. And Zack, well, he does need to stay up the Crescendo Slash to gain power. So that is a little problematic. Let's bring him back now. And the Droma is opting to heal itself. As is that one. And as for the last one... No. Offense for you. This is a bad one, though. Person everyone. Except Dugan might have had resistance to it. That means no skills here. And that does mean that those holy waters that we picked up many of on our way to this fight is suddenly very relevant. Granted, I did just use it on the person who it is least relevant for, but getting those Crescendo Slashes in, nice to get that back up and running. See, the damage is already quite good. And Holy Water on Emma is also probably very significant, and Mardek too. Even now, we're relying pretty heavily on their magic abilities. Healing for Mardek, offense for Emma. Remember, it's actually not bad if Social Fox, aka Morik, opts to attack Mardek, given now he has almost 200% Earth resistance, so he will heal. Dugan, why don't you also remove that curse on Emla? Who will immediately get attacked. And those are physical attacks there against Mardek, so those will still hurt him. I would really like if you would not attack Zack, because he is our primary source of damage right now. So we will Phoenix down him. And by Phoenix down, I mean bring him back up. Just in time for another Crescendo Slash. And it does seem that even if he goes down, he does still maintain the damage boost from subsequent Crescendo Slashes, which I did not realize was going to be the case, but very good because they keep on opting to target Zack. Like, keep on trying to target Zack. For some reason, they have it out for him. So we'll bring him back again. And the Droma is opting to heal there. I think that is fine. Even then, wow, they just won't leave him alone. Come on. Let him stay up. They know he's the threat. Now, at least, we revive him just in time for his turn. And now he's approaching 1,000 damage per turn. So it is becoming very significant. We could opt to heal him here, and we probably should. Just so that he does stay up. And yes, please attack Mardek instead. And so we could, now that we're not desperately trying to heal or revive characters, continue to use things like Phoenix Downs or healing potions to deal damage. So let's throw a better potion at Morik here. Except it does precisely nothing. Huh. I suppose maybe it's actually only the Phoenix Downs and Pinions. Has Morik attacked anyone other than Zack? We did attack Mardek once. Okay, so I suppose it's not exclusively Zack, but it really feels like it is. And again, just in time for this, which is still very close to 1,000 damage, but not quite there yet. I think we want to continue to not attack the Droma. That way, we have minimized the number of them that are out there. So instead, let's opt to heal on probably Zack. He may very well still get one shot here. More curses on everyone. Let's remove the curse on Zack, because actually that will prevent him from using Crescendo Slash, so that is relevant. Before I was saying that wasn't terribly important, I take it back. Okay, healing Morik just a tiny bit there. Are you gonna do exactly the same thing you did previously? You did. Reapplies the curse on Zack, that's about it though. It just means we'll take this time to bring that off of him. And now, this won't kill Morik, but it will bring him very close to going down. And Emla does not have the ability to use any of her magic abilities here, because she is also cursed. So, take your pick as to who we ought to remove the curse on right now. Oh, there's the holy water. Must have gone right past it. Mardek, Dugan. Let's perhaps go with Mardek. Unfortunately, Social Fox, aka Mork, misses there. Now, we didn't opt to remove the curse on Dugan, so that does mean that he is incapable of using those skills there. And he spelled Bladery, and I accidentally passed her turn. Oops. I was thinking I wanted to take out the Droma. That way, we could perhaps go for the dramatic heal kill on Mork, however, not quite enough there. So I suppose instead we'll just do some vicious overkill with Crescendo Slash. And you see, in battles like this, absolutely pays off. This is probably the battle in which we've had the most opportunity to show off just how powerful that skill becomes. Because in the past, it seems that enemies have gone down before Zack has the opportunity to make that Crescendo Slash really start to scale. But in battles such as this, you see, it becomes amazing. So, I'm looking at Dugan and he's not looking great. Is the Droma really gonna deal that much damage to him? Probably not, so he's probably fine with just a normal potion. Let's take him out here. And so, now we managed to pick up this stuff again. We get our Phoenix Pinion back. And, again, Holy Water and Phoenix Downs, perhaps giving me a hint of, hey, you probably want to test that stuff out, and very well may have used some of them in that fight. Alright, so I've skipped forward a bit here, and as you can see, as I may have alluded to before, there is that timer in the bottom right corner, and there is that question of, well, what happens when you do run out of time, and I was under the impression that if in fact you do allow it to drop to 0, then you should actually be fine. We're about to find out, though. That may still be the case, that may not. We'll see if we're about to get a game over here. What is this? Yes, you do! Interesting. Okay. Another instance where previously I don't believe that happened. That is now the case. Huh. Okay, well, I tested it out so that you don't have to, but alright. Interesting, no less. Alright, so I've fast-forwarded a bit here, and we are back in the Gosnor Castle after having just finished our mission, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about, of course. Dugan sacrificed himself there, and it is, well, lonely time now for Mardek. We'll head back to our room. Yes, so we learned that absolutely Mork's battleship did crash. Mardek, I understand how you must feel. Not just because I can actually access your brain in such a way that I can literally feel what you do, but also because I know the pain of loss. Today, for example, I lost Mork. True, he and I never did get along well, as he said, and though it pains me to admit it, I might have been a tad hostile toward him in the past because of his chosen field of expertise. I still consider myself close to him, and to see him do the things he did, and then to end his life twice, was quite a potent blow to me. Certainly not as much of a loss as Dugan's death was to you, but that's not all. I've also lost everything and everyone I ever knew when I came here. I was forced to leave my homeworld suddenly. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Though I suppose I did to the one who I was closest to, since it was them who are now after me. We should look on the bright side, Mardek. Mork's gone now, and the Governance de Magi might take that as a hint and leave me alone. Or, at the very least, their numbers are depleted, and that's a good thing for the entire galaxy. If we keep this up, and kill one of them every chapter or something, we should have saved the galaxy before the 8th chapter. Alright, Rohoff. I see what you're getting at. Huh? You're also a knight now, Mardek. Doesn't that make you feel special and empowered? You have a lot of power in the world now. Isn't this what you always wanted? Power to help people? Well, me and Dugan always wanted that together. Perhaps. Perhaps you should just sleep on it. Maybe in the morning you'll be able to feel better and honor Dugan's sacrifice by being the best knight you can be, living the dream for both of you. Well, he was my best friend. Let's rest now, Mardek. Let's rest. And with that comes the close of Chapter 2. However, Governance de Magi, they have something to say about this, of course. Crumpets! Mork's dead! I knew we shouldn't have groping well trusted that little Bogsa-getting mugabout to get the job done. That's ratchet and resistance is looking like a blabbering reality we'll have to deal with soon at this blatant rate. Mize, he did seem to do a rather atrociously terrible job. Not only did he forget about the mission initially, but then he went and tried to betray us, too. What nerve. It's as if he didn't even know we were constantly monitoring his behavior. I liked Mardek. He was creepy. And green and black. Green and black contrast so much, and made him look so creepy. Mardek said, yes, all the time. I liked that. It made me laugh. Now he had died. Oh well. Can't win all of them. I say, he just wasn't skilled and talented enough to do the job. I think that yours truly could come up with a much, much better solution to the Rohov problem than that old dead Mardek. His approach was too ham-fisted and dense, and what this requires is subtlety, and I can do just that. What? With your grunting, trilobiting clairvoyance and possession and acting skills, you tardish smoking diviner? Oh yes, they're good skills. Thank you very much. They're leagues more elegant than your standard go in and burn everything approach. Oh, Firestorm. Well, if you Lionwell think you're totem capable enough, why don't you, Rochenwell, go and do thing? Kill that guy. Crokenwell. Die him to death. Grasping that. Mize, Qualna, you can talk the talk, but can you kill that guy? I'd go, but I need to wash my hair. You don't foolin' well have any prunin' hair. You lag about and spoutin' poutin' trout. So it will take a very long time to wash it. You see, mathematically, since I have no hair, and dividing by 0 results in infinity, it shall take an infinite amount of time to wash my hair. How is this beast and well relevant? I like relevance. I find it goes best with a side dish of scones and onions. Onions have fresh skin. Many layers of it. They're also native to a world I've never been to, most likely, so talking of them as the alien being that I am is rather unrealistic. So, yes, I can do a much better job than that thermidor of a biscuit Mardek. By Jove, I bite my thumb at him. And etc. I'll be off now, then? Don't die. We've lost one of our ranks already. We can afford to lose no more. Sure. Okay. I mean, if you don't want me to, I'll not die. But I'm doing this for you, you know, so you'd better remember it gratefully. We completely failed to mention that our plans are coming along nicely. It's been several years since before, so surely our plans would have progressed somewhat, yes? And they have. They've been coming along rather nicely. What are you Arsonwell prattling on about, man? Before? We Tartanwell talk every day. We were just talking and talking about our plans earlier, and how they've been Wardenwell coming along dicely nicely. Yes, but they didn't know that. We have to consider them. And yet, we must also be mysterious. Yes. Let's just fade out now with an evil laugh. Mwahahaha, etc. And with that, we truly come to a close on Chapter 2 and the beginning of Chapter 3. 3 years have passed since Mardek saved Belfed from Mardek and became a Royal Knight of Gosnor. Deeply distraught over Dugan's sacrifice and unable to believe the reality of the situation, he searched the Lake Quirr at length, only to find no signs of his lost friend. And he hasn't seen Emla since either. However, Mardek is not the type to mope and moan. As with Social Fox's passing, he merely strives harder to replace what is gone, and with Rohov's encouragement, he carried out his missions impeccably by himself or with others, and earned himself a reputation as one of the best knights in the ranks. Today, Mardek is on a mission with Donovan and Charlotte, who were recently promoted from guards to knights too, to investigate Reports dark monster suddenly appearing in Sun Temple. Something else. Well, this is the Sun Temple. And so, this is technically the start of Mardek Chapter 3, which previously was an entirely separate game that took, I want to say it came out 3 years after Mardek 2, might have been a little bit more than that. So, we see Mardek is of course all armored up in his knight gear, and Donovan looks a little bit different as well. Yes it is. We need to find the High Priest of Solak. He'll fill us in on the exact details of our mission here. Well, let's go find him then. He'll probably be the one with the silliest hat. Oh, and remember, Mardek, to check the help section if you've not done so yet already. Open the menu with Enter and navigate down to it using the arrow keys. If there's anything you need help with, don't hesitate to talk to Charlotte and I using the P key. Though, whether or not we'll be of any help really depends on the situation. And that was also a huge question that people had was, who would talk to us about the menu? Who would remind us with Dugan gone? So, let's talk to some of these monks here. Or priests, more precisely. There are monsters in the depths of the temple. Leading evil monsters full of vile and soot. And they're all crawling down there. I left a parchment down there, and I bet they've touched it and everything. Ew! I'll never write another book again. It's enough to drive a man mad. Mad! Okay. I'm a priest of Solak. That you are. You're going down deep into the temple. Beware of the lizard people. They're right savage, you know. One once bit my leg off in one bite. But you have 2 legs now. I thank you not to draw attention to the problem. It's hard enough to live as is, without people like you, sir, mocking me endlessly for my crippling disability. You definitely have 2 legs, though. I bet you wish you could read this book, don't you? Well, you can't. You simply can't. Why not? Because it's too hard for you. That's why. Mardek, gotta study up, man. Okay, well, here's a save crystal, and I think this is probably a very good place for us to stop here because, like I said, we are now technically into Chapter 3, and I'm excited to get a closer look as to all the stuff there as well, but I'll catch you in the next one.